Aloha, I'm Miles Diaz, Master Trainer and Certified Senior Fitness Specialist. I'm happy to introduce The Future of Senior Fitness, a new television series created in partnership with myself, Olelo Community Media, and other community-minded organizations. Each week, I'll host a show that will provide health and fitness information for older adults, their families, and friends in our communities. Along with my featured guests, we'll discuss the importance of health and exercise. We'll look at future fitness trends for senior citizens, and we'll discuss how to modify exercise to overcome common medical challenges. We'll have interesting and informative interviews with special guests and people in our communities that have experience with senior citizens. And although this is not an exercise show, I will be providing you with safe and effective examples of exercises that are designed especially for the senior community. With over 30 years experience as an athlete, trainer, and coach, I've spent the last 10 years focusing my efforts on providing personal and group training for senior citizens and sports performance for athletes. I know, as many do, that there are several health-related benefits associated with exercise. However, relatively few older adults exercise regularly. Studies have shown that the low participation rate is due partly to education and partly to motivation. I decided to do these episodes to educate, motivate, and in doing so, provide a valuable and needed service to our communities. There are so many misconceptions and misunderstandings about senior fitness. For example, one of my clients who's in her 80s told me that her nephews and nieces don't understand why she's exercising. They say, "Why are you doing it, Auntie? You're too old." Well, the truth is, staying physically active and exercising regularly can help prevent or delay many diseases and disabilities, including dementia. The National Institute of Health reports that moderate exercise and physical activity can improve the health of seniors, including those who are frail or have diseases. And the good news is that exercise can be modified to address common medical conditions. And here's another truth. Older adults hurt their health far more by not exercising. An inactive lifestyle can cause older adults to lose ground in 4 areas that are important for maintaining health and independence. Strength, balance, flexibility, and endurance all suffer from an inactive lifestyle. Growing older doesn't mean you have to lose strength or ability to do everyday tasks. Exercise can help older adults feel better and enjoy life more, even those who think they're too old or out of shape. Having good health and fitness influences your quality of life, supports your emotional well-being, and helps to preserve your independence. And that's right, Hawaii. It's never too late to start exercising and improving your health. To help us understand this better, let's begin with the definition of aging. For many people, aging is the gradual loss of the ability to take part in activities that once seemed effortless. However, this does not apply to everyone. We all know that there are older adults who live active and energetic lives. The wide range of capabilities among people in the same age brackets makes it difficult to agree on a single definition of aging. Let's have a look at this illustration listing several common definitions of aging that are currently used today. Common classifications of aging include chronological, determined by the number of years since birth that a person has lived. Biological, determined by the amount of decline evident in the organ systems and tissues of the body. Functional, determined by the use of attributes such as appearance, mobility, strength, and/or mental capacity. Primary, declines in functions that are independent of disease or environment, such as malnutrition, vision, and hearing. And secondary, pathological changes that are a result of trauma, environmental effects, or disease, such as cancer, injuries, or Parkinson's. Aging results from a complex interaction of lifestyle, environment, and genetics. That's why someone in their 40s or 50s, although not chronologically old, may be biologically or functionally challenged. And similarly, someone in their 70s or 80s, although considered older, may have taken care of their health along the years. The good news is that a lifestyle choice of commitment and consistency applied to physical activity, good nutrition, along with other healthy choices may equalize our genetic disposition. The key words are commitment and consistency. Look at it this way. A person's genes determines what might be, but lifestyle choices determine what the person actually becomes. Currently, more than 35 million older adults live in America, accounting for approximately 12.5% of the total population. We have referred to this group of people as the baby boomers, individuals who were born between the years of 1946 and 1964. This illustration provides population projections to the year 2030 for those 65 or older. Estimates project that by 2030, more than 70 million people 65 or older will occupy the United States. That will account for nearly 20% of the population. Just look around you when you're at Ala Moana shopping or going for a drive and eating at a restaurant. Many of our citizens in Honolulu and throughout the state of Hawaii are older adults. These population projections have the potential to place a great financial impact on our society. Social Security payments will increase, medical care and long-term care costs will grow, and the burden associated with uncovered medical expenses such as pharmaceuticals will become quite serious. This chart shows the top 10 causes of death in older adults for the most recent year in which data has been collected. Common afflictions such as heart disease, cancer, stroke, emphysema, diabetes, and kidney disease are less common in persons who choose healthy lifestyles. In Hawaii, the top cancer-related deaths are lung and breast cancer, with colon cancer not far behind. 87% of lung cancer is attributable to smoking. These cancers can be curbed with moderate exercise and smarter lifestyle choices. Coming up next is our first episode titled The Psychosocial Considerations of Aging. I hope that you enjoy these series of television episodes. And for more information or detail on any of our charts or illustrations, or if you want to review or view these episodes again, please visit our website at www.futureofseniorfitness.com and feel free to call or email me. This is Miles Diaz, host of The Future of Senior Fitness, wishing you the best in health and reminding you that health is your only wealth. Aloha and welcome to the Future of Senior Fitness. I'm your host, Miles Diaz, Master Trainer and Certified Senior Fitness Specialist. Today, we're going to discuss the psychosocial considerations of aging. The term psychosocial reflects the dynamic relationship between psychological and social processes. Psychological processes are internal. They include thoughts, feelings, emotions, understanding, and perceptions. Social processes are external. They are comprised of social networks, community, family, and environments. It is important to note that what happens in one of these areas will affect aspects of the others. Good health includes both physical and mental well-being, and the two go hand in hand. A healthy mind contributes to a healthy body. We frequently hear the buzzword quality of life when we discuss aging. Quality of life encompasses the physical, psychological, emotional, and social well-beings of older adults, and it has a huge effect on independence and functional ability. Well-being depends on many factors. Let's explore for a moment how these considerations are all interrelated. First, our emotional well-being is a significant factor. Older adults experience a dramatic number of changes in their lifetime, including a loss of physical strength and stamina and a reduction in cognitive abilities. Physical and psychological changes can significantly affect an older adult's emotional well-being. The loss of emotional well-being can lead to depression, anxiety, and other psychological disorders. Older adults must also adjust to changes due to the loss of a loved one and feelings of loss that result from retirement. Secondly, our psychological well-being is essential. Mentally strong people are well-adjusted and possess positive attitudes. Research demonstrates that exercise is a powerful tool for psychological well-being and helps the prevention and the treatment of anxiety and depression. Habitual exercise is shown to positively benefit the emotional well-being of older adults in the reduction of stress, improvement in mood, and energy levels. Third, our physical well-being is essential to everything we do. Being physically active helps maintain and increase bone density, improves balance, strength, core, and flexibility. The physiological benefits include prevention of heart disease, stroke, and some cancers. Regular physical activity helps to maintain and improve memory and mental ability. It improves cardiorespiratory efficiency, prevents dementia and Alzheimer's diseases, eases the effects of arthritis, increases glucose tolerance, decreases body fat, alleviates depression, improves energy levels, and strengthens the immune system. Finally, social well-being is key as we age. Staying connected with our friends and family is also very important. Having friends and social connections is very good for your mental and physical health. A huge study of 4,725 randomly selected residents in a California county, 55 years of age and older, found that those with fewest close friends and social connections had mortality rates 2 to 3 times higher than those with high levels of social networks. Life expectancy tables show a difference of 9 years between people with very poor social connections and those with good ones. As we age, friendships foster a feeling of belonging, provide a buffer against stress, and being needed by friends creates a sense of purpose in our lives. To help us further understand how these interrelated facets connect the quality of life, there is no one better than Linda Adamson, Lifestyles Director at Kahala Senior Living Community. It's also known as Kahala Nui. Kahala Nui is the premier continuing care facility located on Oahu. Linda, welcome to the Future of Senior Fitness, and thank you so much for being on the show.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here.
Great. Why don't we just start by telling us a little bit about yourself first, and then tell us about your primary responsibilities as the Lifestyles Director here at Kahala Nui.
Okay. My background includes a whole lot of things, none of which have to do with programming for seniors. But when I came to Kahala Nui, I had a broad enough experience that it was worth trying. And after 9.5 years, it has been very successful. And it is definitely the highlight of my life professionally to be here and do the programming for the lifestyle department.
And what about your primary responsibilities?
The lifestyle title, I think, came out of trying to update the title that was used in the past most often, which was activities. And the reason they changed it is because lifestyle includes everything. It's exercise, entertainment, lifelong learning. In effect, all of the dimensions of wellness, the spiritual, the intellectual, the vocational, and the physical and spiritual. Did I say that already? Yeah. So it's much broader. So I also do the newsletter for the whole community, and I'm involved on a day-to-day basis with some of the smallest details of our residents' lives. But I program for 340 people, all of whom are living independently, and the age range of that group is over 30 years. So programming is a challenge because you're addressing at least more than one generation and almost 3.
Okay, and then you also, in addition to the social programs, that you also, and you can tell us about that a little bit later in more detail, but in addition to that, you also are very involved in setting up the fitness program.
Oh, absolutely. I personally would see the physical well-being, which includes exercise, of course, and nutrition, as the baseline. Because if they're not physically well as can be, as fit as can be, as functioning as well as can be, the other things are much harder to enjoy and, in fact, perhaps impossible.
And that's like, we were talking about the quality of life, right?
Yeah, the quality of life, I think, because it affects the psychological well-being as well as just mental abilities, everything.
They're all
It
interrelated.
starts with the physical.
Explain how health and fitness influence the quality of life, emotional well-being, and self-perception of the older adult.
Well, to restate it, I would say that based on all of the people that I've seen who have lived here and currently live here, the people who engage regularly in exercise, which is intense enough and enjoyable enough to affect their physical and mental fitness, everything is better. They experience less age-related depression. They are able to interact more enjoyably with other people, and we all know that social connections as you get older become, they always are important, but for seniors it's very important. There's a lot of loss associated with aging, and having friends to connect with and support you is critical. And through physical well-being, you have the energy and wherewithal to do that, to enhance that. It's not that you can't have friends if you don't exercise. I don't mean to say that. But everything is enhanced and improved by being physically well.
Communicating the benefits of exercise to the residents is an important job. How do you encourage communication and build rapport, especially with all of the different ages, personalities, and abilities?
Yeah. I always say that, my job to begin with retaining a good deciding on what a good exercise class would be, an appropriate one for the age group, depending on which one I'm addressing, finding an outstanding teacher who has experience with it and relates well to the age group and to people in general, is the tip of the iceberg. Communicating and motivating is 80% of the job. The people who are going to exercise anyway, who have, let's say, a lifelong habit of exercising, or who are very motivated for some reason, are not the ones I worry about. It's the ones who mostly are on the borderline, who need a renewed motivation. Let's say one time they did exercise, but they've become separated from it for whatever reason. Motivation, education, encouragement, support from other people is everything. So I spend a lot of time bringing in professional experts to talk about why, if you have arthritis, you should exercise, why water exercise is perhaps the best thing for arthritis. All of that is, I see, primary. I have to educate people as to why they're doing it. Because if you're hurting, if you're older, you're hurting, getting up in the morning and saying, I know I should do it, you need some thoughts in your head about why. And it's not something you can hold on to all the time yourself. So I see part of my job as helping with that reminder and or education, if it's new.
And that's one of the reasons I'm actually doing the series of television episodes, because I think a lot of them do know, like I said, but why? And I guess the how part of it too, but why is important, to connect with the why.
And most people need to be remotivated. So all of that is really important. The overall message is that at every age in life, there are many, many important reasons to exercise. But as you get older, the fact that 70% of your state of wellness is under your control. Only 30%, and I'm quoting somebody else's numbers.
Right,
This
right.
is from the doctors who know better than
You're
I do.
alluding to genetics, probably.
Genetics.
Uh-huh.
30% of where you are and what you can expect is genetic. And eventually that 30% is going to kick in and life ends.
Yeah.
But maintaining an independent and good quality of life, or the best that you can, is 70% of it is up to you, up to us, each one of us. And I would say that that's the thing I remember when I'm motivating myself to exercise, is that I don't want that 30% to get a to get a hold on me any sooner than it's going to. But I also just don't want to, most of the people I work with here also want to remain independent. It's kind of like the magic word.
Sure.
Nobody wants to feel like they can't do things for themselves. And functional fitness for seniors, you don't have to be a weightlifter, but you need to do the things that will give you good body strength, variety, and something which helps you coordinate all of your body movements together so that you can function.
Right.
That's the message. 70-30.
70-30. Great, great. Okay, this next question is, really an important part of why I'm even doing these episodes. And so, as we know, both of us know, many adults, older adults, they know that exercise is important, physical activity is important. Now there's the ones that do know, and then there's the ones that don't know. But the ones that do know, even those that do know, they still have a hard time doing it and participating in physical activity and exercise. Why do you think this is?
Well, obviously it's a great variety of reasons, but instead of trying to figure out with each person why they don't do it at any particular time, for myself, I see my job as one where I'm always trying to educate if necessary, re-educate if necessary, motivate by example, by personal encouragement, motivate by offering such a variety of things to do that they may be curious and be drawn to it rather than pushed to it by someone saying you should do this, it's good for you. Most people want to be drawn to something and feel like they've chosen it themselves than having their doctor shake his finger at you and say you've got to exercise. So insofar as I can, I try to do that, to draw people to things by having them change, offer a variety, even a class that stays essentially the same. You can't change strength training or Tai Chi, but you can offer a variety within the class to offer different exercises. It's not the same every time. Things like that. But I think as people age, feeling as though what's the point? Depression perhaps is part of it. I've gotten out of the habit and it's going to be so hard to get back, it'll hurt. Feeling like the mountain is just too high to climb and not realizing that every little bit you do is valuable, that you don't even have to get back to where you were before. But if you stop altogether, you're buying yourself a lot of trouble usually. But I think that people don't do it. There's another reason too, and that's called denial. That aging is something you, especially when you start to see the effects of it, you don't want to think about too much. And saying, I need to go exercise because I'm getting, I think denial is a lot of it. People just aren't willing to accept the fact that they are human and their bodies function pretty much the way all humans do, and that you will begin to go downhill rapidly at some point if you don't take control over it. So, I don't know.
I think that's an interesting perspective, because I think what happens is, in one way, they see that, how physically inept they might be, and then on the other hand, it's something that you need to do so that you can keep the quality of life and all that. And that's quite a balance.
But the fear, if you sort of realize on the one hand that you physically are declining, and that you but the step between realizing that and going to do something is a full acceptance of the reality, and it's hard. It's hard for people to do that, and the fear that somehow you won't be able to do it. I'm not sure where that comes from. I've done classes where people say, well, I wouldn't be able to do that. And again, with some personal interaction, encouragement, and explanation, that's why all of my classes are open, and I encourage people to go watch it. Go and watch it. Just try it, you know.
And as we know, sometimes there's the good stories when they end up actually participating. Then you hear the good stuff. And they come back and tell you, "Gosh, Linda, I'm so glad I had gone and done that."
See, the thing is that what I want to give to everyone, and what motivates me in my job is wanting to see everyone have the experience of the people that I've seen walk stronger, walk more confidently, smiling more interaction with people. They just feel better about themselves. That's the bottom line. They may not like those other people better, but they're certainly they just like themselves better. There's a great sense of self-satisfaction to doing something for yourself.
So what would be a great idea is we could have you come back again and talk about trends in group exercise for senior citizens, because I know you have a lot of experience.
A lot of those. And I do have a lot of thoughts about that.
So you'll be willing to come back and visit us again?
I certainly will.
Great. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks, Miles.
Okay. Well, until next time, this is Miles Diaz wishing you the best in health and reminding you that health is your only wealth.